For today's video, we're going to be giving you guys some stenciling basics. We thought it was about time since we own a stencil company and we've never really done like a basic how-to video. So we're going to be doing some Valentine's Day signs. We've got JRV stencils, our stencil brushes, and some DIY paint.
So stencils are all about contrasting color. I've got DIY's vintage linen. It's a nice bright white. So on these ones, use the weathered wood to stencil. On those ones, we'll use the vintage linen to stencil.
It's easy to get a different look just using a couple different colors. If you guys are resellers, JRV stencils are a good investment because they're made really well. They're super thick and you can create tons of projects with just a few stencils.
So when you're getting ready to stencil, the stencil brush does matter. These are our JRV stencil brushes. They're really densely packed and they've got a nice wood handle. They're designed to last a long time for multiple uses and they come in 4 different sizes. This is the 3/8. It's great for fine little detail, especially if you've got a very detailed stencil that you want to do in different colors. This is the 1/2 inch. That's the one I'm going to be using today because these stencils in the word pack I'm using are fairly small stencils. They're really detailed. And then if you have a large stencil or if you're doing some waxing, they also work for waxing. We use these ones here. This is the 1 inch and the 1 1/4. This is the pouncing method. You can see me over here. I'm dry brushing this off. I've got a little bit of paint there and then I'm just dry brushing it off and we're going back with the weathered wood over this white. The pouncing method is great if you want to be really accurate with your stencil and your brush and you've got multiple colors that you're using. But the key to getting a nice, clean, crisp stencil is to have the brush be dry. You don't want to have bleed through pushing up underneath the stencil from a brush that has too much paint on it. So the next method I'm going to show you is the swirl method. We love this method. It's really easy to get a job done quickly. You really want to make sure that your brush is really dry because this method is less forgiving than the pounce method if your brush is too wet. It really will push the paint up underneath as it drags across the stencil and it will make it murky and bleed underneath that stencil.
To buy the paints and products that you're seeing us use here today, as well as the JRV stencils, visit JamiRayVintage.com. So we're going to be layering these stencils. It's something we haven't done a ton of, and I have a few techniques that I think can help you guys do them. All of the stencils in the Valentine's A and B can be used independently. They're also made to layer up and get a lot of fun detail. I'm going to be using the 3/8 stencil brush. When you're using little skinny words, the smaller stencil brush will be your friend. Offload, 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 and then just swirl the paint on. If you find that you get too much paint going underneath your stencil, that means you had too much paint on your brush. It needs to almost be dry. By the time you're done stenciling, the paint should be dry on your piece. Ta-da! This one is a ledger, and so I did part of the ledger up here, and I'm gonna do the other one off to the side here. Now we're layering on this ice cream cone. It's got flowers in it. It's really romantic, but you know, it can be used for Valentine's Day, but it's actually cute enough to be year round. And I also like this stencil because if you taped off the flowers, you could put something else in the ice cream cone, so you could do something seasonally. If you can't hold your stencil still, I suggest taping it in place. In this case, I'm gonna have to do 2 coats because you can see the words underneath. With these small brushes, if you wanted to get really detailed, you could do the leaves one color, the flowers another color, the sky's the limit. We're keeping these simple, but really the stencils can be whatever you need them to be. We're keeping these simple because it's neutral decor. You can use more than one season and it's kind of an aesthetic that fits our style. And that's the thing I love about stencils is that you can create decor that matches your house. You're not limited to just what you can buy at the store. You guys are ready? Ta-da!
Oh, that's cool.
I think I might have got too juicy over here.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I'm gonna distress it there. It's not too juicy at all.
Okay, I think that will work. It's gonna be close to the edge, but not over it. All right, I'm ready. If you notice, we didn't paint the edges of these boards. I don't remember if we told you already. We're gonna paint them on the side so they look finished and almost framed out, but not have to frame them with wood. On this stencil, I'm just going to stencil the cherub with the heart on here and then go around carefully. Since the stencil is clear, I can see where I'm stenciling. That way I don't cover up any of the other stencil under there.
Next, we're going to be painting the edges so it looks kind of framed out, and I'm just using the contrasting color that we stenciled with. So these ones are going to get a white frame and those ones are going to get weathered wood. I like using the stencil brushes. It's easier to get the paint where I want it because it's nice and flat, so it just gets on the flat surface.
We might get over the edge a little bit, but we're distressing that, so it's not gonna be a big deal.
It'll be fun.
Some people are like, why you gotta distress anything? A, I like the way it looks. B, it makes my life really easy.
Because nobody told me no. That's my new answer.
Nobody told me.
Bought an ice cream cake the other day that people are like, is this for a special occasion? I'm like, nope, I just bought it because nobody told me no. They're like, being an adult must be awesome. They really said that. And I'm like, well, it's less awesome than you might think sometimes, which is why I actually need this ice cream cake today.
But mostly awesome.
But mostly awesome.
Okay, so now you can see that there. We'll distress this top a little bit. It'll look nice and framed and finished. Now that everything's stenciled and all the paint is dry, I'm just going to distress this with some 220 grit. You can go as heavy or as light. You can completely skip the distressing step if you want. It's not really necessary. I find it helps blend everything together, gives it that nice time-worn look that we're going for with older stenciled signs. And we're clear waxing. It doesn't take much on these signs, and it really helps brighten that color back up, even though we distressed it. And I wipe these down with a dry paper towel to get all the excess dust off, and one dip of the wax brush, and I did 3 signs. You don't want to overwork your wax. I'm just going to get it on here, one coat real quick, let it dry, should be fine. These are really going to pop out once we get the wax on them. They're still going to have the distress, but you'll be able to see the contrast really well, and it'll cure back a little bit, but you'll still be able to see it once it dries.
DIY clear wax is all natural and safe to use inside. Our favorite way to wax is using our JRV number 20 stencil brush. What are you getting me for Valentine's Day?
Just signs mostly.
Hold on. You have stuff on you, okay.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Are you in the mood for love?
Yes, I'm feeling it now. Especially now that we've got all these signs to remind me that it's coming.
Hope you guys enjoyed these stenciling basics and just using a few stencils and a couple of colors to create some signs with scrap wood.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, real quick and easy, and I think we're gonna enjoy them here at the house until they sell at the shop.
If you want to create these signs, or if you like my sweater, also new, we will drop all the links below. Be sure to visit JamiRayVintage.com, and if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.